sing. Yesterday is calling for me. He's the fool on the hill. Though I twist and shout things we said today, don't pass me by, don't let me down. All must carry that weight, don't just let it be. Golden slumbers wait all of us as I call your name. Tomorrow never knows, they say, while my guitar gently weeps. All you need is love, they say. Yesterday is calling for me. Across the universe, Mother Nature's son, come together, my little child. It won't be long when I get home. I've got a feeling all things must pass. Tell me what you see. Here comes the sun, you know what to do. No more misery, tomorrow never knows, they say. While my guitar gently weeps, all you need is love, they say. Yesterday is calling for me, tomorrow never knows, they say. While my guitar gently weeps, all you need is love, they say. Yesterday is calling for me, tomorrow never knows. Yesterday. Imagine the long and winding road between the two of us. Yesterday I saw her standing there, but today get back I must. I feel fine, though there's something in my life. We can work it out with a little help from my friends at night. And these words of love, tomorrow never knows.
This is our community garden. We are doing this in partnership with the town of Collingwood, the Environment Network, and Pollinate Collingwood, with partnership through the David Suzuki Foundation, the Butterfly Way Project. So this was a very exciting project that we actually started back in 2019, and the pavement I'm standing on, it was a project that was headed up by the Environment Network, that we literally came together as community agencies and de-paved this space here. We ripped up the pavement in order to make room for our 11 community garden beds. So CAPC is a national initiative funded by the Public Health Agency of Canada, and CAPC Simcoe County is locally supported by Catalpa Community Support Services and also other funders through the County of Simcoe and private donors and service clubs. So if mums are either pregnant or have children up to the age of 6 and have a low income, then they can qualify for a CAPC program. Right now, we have been having moms and children from our program, the Community Action Program for Children and the Canada Prenatal Nutrition Program, come and assist us. We have our early childhood educator on staff and our food worker that helps support this program, where moms and children come out and they just get to have the benefits of planting those seeds and really enjoying the benefits of gardening. Moms will take home whatever food they've harvested for the day, and then for the rest of the food that is left over, we have been taking it across the street to the social housing buildings through the County of Simcoe. So during COVID, we've had the opportunity to meet in the community garden with our moms and our children. Typically, we would meet in a center. We're usually housed out of early on centers or local community churches. But as I said, right now we're having the opportunity to meet here at the garden and provide supports for the women that attend. While in particular this year, we have seen over 92 CAPC moms and children attend our garden. We've provided support for over 400 residents of Simcoe County housing, and we've also provided over 1,200 servings of food. We have a Facebook page that's Simcoe County CAPC, where we have great information. We have recipes on there, we have children's activities, and the latest supports and resources available to women who are in our community that are vulnerable.
This year, our annual Timothy Christian School Christmas Bazaar fundraiser will look a little different. Our regular event draws approximately 1,000 people. However, due to COVID, we can't host this event in our school. But we have moved the fundraiser online so we can keep the tradition alive. Right now, our Christmas garden arrangements and Dutch store with savory and sweet traditional Dutch treats, including wheels of Gouda cheese and chocolate letters, are live on the school website at timothychristianschool.ca. Click on Shop, which runs until Monday, November 2nd.
Starting on Monday, November 2nd, our live auction will begin on the timothychristianschool.ca website and will run until Friday, November the 20th. There are a lot of great items, including an awesome fire pit ring, a week stay at Muskoka Bible Center in a modern park trailer, a crock pot, a drone, a family night basket, and much more for everyone to bid on. Winning bids could be eligible for a charitable tax receipt. So how will you get your items, you ask? Well, on Saturday, November the 21st, from 10 until 2, we will be doing a drive-through style pickup for all of your Christmas garden, Dutch store, and auction items, so we can provide a safe environment and keep with the COVID regulations.
We hope you are able to join us again this year by participating in this great fundraiser, and we look forward to seeing you on Pickup Day when you collect all of your goodies. Thank you from all of us at Timothy Christian School.
It is a board of 22 absolutely dedicated, fabulous people. We still, despite numerous long Zoom meetings, do not know exactly what December will look like, other than our people will be looked after in a meaningful way. Christmas will come. We are very passionate about that. We are really confident that this community will step up the way they always do for Christmas cheer. And we just are very grateful that this community allows us to, and helps us help our community members that just need that extra little bit at Christmas time.
Well, obviously, we're going to be here for the families that need us this year, but we've had to take a step back and reevaluate how we go about running the program. What we do know is that we won't be able to accept donations in the form of food, gift cards, and toys this year, which is obviously, you know, a big roadblock for us. So our campaign this year is going to be 100% fundraising from our schools, from our corporate partners, and from the people in our community. But what I will say, I want to reinforce, is that we are going to be here for those families that need us. We are going to be moving our applications online. This is something that used to always happen in person and one-on-one, but we'll be launching a program so that our recipients can actually do that from home. Well, this year our goal is to raise $250,000, and we'll be using that money, and all of it goes directly to our recipients. We would love for people to get involved in our social media, engage with us as much as possible, to go online to our website and to click donate now and donate what you can, and we'll make sure that every last dime gets to our recipients. What's great about this new location though is that although it's a little bit further out of the way, it's actually better for distribution days. In the past, we've had some traffic issues coming in off St. Vincent Street, and while it was an incredible warehouse space, we see some new opportunities with this new place at 49 Truman Road. And we're still sorting through the logistics of our distribution day and what that looks like. We do know, obviously, that everything we do, we will be taking COVID protocols into account and making very thoughtful decisions in terms of how we are interacting or distributing any of our items. What they receive will absolutely change, but they will be receiving what they need to have the Christmas that they want to have for their families. So our president, Cindy Ton, is back there. She's really excited to see you guys this year. We are here for you in 2020. Christmas Cheer is going to show up, and we are going to do everything we can to support the families in our community.
Ding a ding 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 ding
Let's go, ole, 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 feeling hot, 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 so hot, oh.
Last year, the Total Mom Pitch was an in-person event on a stage. And when I decided to take this online and across the country, I was able to get the attention of Scotiabank Women's Initiative, Visa Canada, which runs an initiative called She's Next. This is a huge deal for myself as a small business owner, but I think what's important here is a lot of these moms will get a chance to get in front of large organizations like this and get on their radar. So there's a lot of eyeballs, just kind of, just go for it. So Canada's Total Mom Pitch is the largest business competition for moms across Canada. We're going coast to coast, and we're looking for moms that own a business, and we want to help them connect them with powerful resources, other successful women, but most importantly, scouring the internet. Nobody has the time for that right now. So what we're doing is every single mom that applies is going to get a business bundle, and that business bundle is just going to show them where they can get funding, where they can get mentorship, where the business ecosystems live, and how they can get supported with their small business. I think a lot of moms across the country can relate that own a business, that COVID, when it hit, it was a big slap in the face. We didn't really know what we were going to do with our businesses or companies. And there's just this pressure of having to pivot digitally and having to understand marketing and take everything that was happening in real life and turn it online. This is very difficult and very expensive. I currently, had to move back into my home office to be near my kids. They're getting sent back left, right, and center for any symptom. And it's just kind of one of those things where we have to choose sometimes, is the mom or the dad going to get to keep their opportunity or their side hustle or their business? So moms are sort of being put back into this position where we have to decide whether we're going to go after our, dreams and our businesses, or are we going to just stay home and try to figure this thing out? So one of the things I found extremely shocking was that over 865,000 women lost their job in September alone. A lot of women are facing these issues as it is, but moms in particular are having to choose. So one of the things that statistics are showing is that small businesses are trying to figure out, how are they going to get more money through the door? How are they going to increase revenue? The other thing is trying to reduce wages or trying to figure out how to bring on more team members, because we honestly can't afford to keep growing teams, and people are going back home from work, or they have to stay at home to watch their kids. So our company in particularly, we lost a lot of women that were working for us because they just simply have no other choice. And one of the things that it's important to note is we've come a long way as women. We've come a long way of, creating businesses and having these unique opportunities to shine as business women. And if moms have to keep choosing whether they're going to continue with their passion project or stop, what's going to happen to the economy and women in general? How are they going to continue getting these opportunities? Canadian moms that own a small business can apply from now all the way till November 12th. Once November 12th hits, that's it. So make sure you apply, don't miss the deadline, and it's going to be super exciting.
Open by appointment. So while the public can't come into the center, we are happy to help with whatever anyone needs help with by appointment. So simply giving us a call or sending us an email, and we will get back to you. We are still doing limited contact adoptions, and we are doing limited contact arrivals as well, meaning that if somebody needs assistance in rehoming their pet, again, we are more than happy to help with that. We are here for other needs as well. If somebody finds themselves unable to feed their pet, for example, because of an issue with the pandemic, like a job loss, we are happy to help with that, to provide food for them so that we can keep pets and their families together. But again, things happen in people's lives that we can't always control, and we are here to help with rehoming if that's what's needed. Animals and More pin is intended to be worn as a compliment to the poppy, in remembrance of our veterans and the animals who served by their side. So this year we introduced the pigeon, and along with dog pin and our horse pin as well. And it's meant to represent all animals and more. Of course, we know that there were several more animals than dogs and horses and pigeons helping in wartime, such as mules carrying artillery, cats serving as companions. We actually first launched them in 2017, and we launched it to provide support for animals in need, but also provide support for our veterans. So this year, for example, because of the pandemic, the Ontario SPCA has increased its commitment to the veterans in 2020 by donating $2.50 from the sale of every pin back to the Royal Canadian Legion branches across the province. The Ontario SPCA wanted to recognize animals in war. Of course, we can't recognize animals in war without also recognizing our veterans, which is why the Ontario SPCA came up with the Animals in War pin, so it can be worn alongside the poppy, so we can remember our veterans who served in the war as well as the animals who served in the war. Visit ontariospca.ca/remember to order your pin. Alternatively, you can call 1-888-668-7722 extension 360 to place your order by phone.
Char is a little character with a confident and bright personality. She has impaired vision that was caused by retinal degeneration, but she adapts well and we believe she can see shadows. She's just under 5 years old. She has a lot of spunk and will happily play with a toy or chase a ball. Char would do best in a quiet, adults-only home. A bungalow, condo, or apartment would be perfect for her. Once she is comfortable in her surroundings, she settles in very quickly. She is good with other cats as long as they let her do her own thing and don't get in her space. She's a little bit of a chunky monkey, so would benefit from a good quality diet food as well as portion control. She's affectionate and likes to be brushed. For more information, please email streetcatsrescue@hotmail.com if you would like to arrange to meet Char.
Yeah, so we do an affordability poll. We do it once a year, and the affordability poll just recently came out as our 3rd annual one. And what it showed us is that there's a real division in the affordability gap now. About 40% of the people we surveyed are actually in a worse financial situation than they were pre-COVID. About 19% have actually improved, but again, there's this large percentage that have actually, their situation has declined. What's more important in that is that the group that are worse off are 4 times as likely to be having financial difficulty, i.e. struggling to keep up with their monthly payments, than those who are faring better. And then if we broke it down further, there was a real divide as to who is actually in a worse financial situation. And what we found out is it was people that have struggled on their income side. So they've had a layoff, they've got reduced hours, they're just not earning as much as they did before, or they were earning less than $50,000 a year. Those who have fared better were actually the younger generation, sort of the 18 to 24-year-olds have actually done the best, or didn't suffer a reduction of income, or alternatively were making more than $100,000 a year. So there is this real divide in the affordability that we've seen. The starting point for us has always been to manage your finances with a budget. And that's one of the things that also came out in our affordability poll was that in Ontario, 58% of the people aren't looking at their budget. So again, if there's uncertainty, and unfortunately we're into the second wave now. We know this is going to be continuing for a while to come until they probably get a vaccine. So it's really important to be focused on your budget, where you're going. If you think there's uncertainty of your income, your budget's your starting point. What money is coming into the household each month? If it is staying level, great. If it's actually decreasing, you got to go back to your expenses. What can you do to fix it up? One of the things we discovered is the #1 financial priority that came out of our affordability poll is that it used to be retirement savings. It's not this year. It was an emergency fund. And that's because people are realizing that things can happen that you suddenly need a nest egg of money. You've got 3, 4, 5 months of expenses saved up to help you get through it. And so, again, that's where you go back to the budget, because the budget is where you find the savings in your expenses to be able to put money aside into that emergency fund. So the people who are doing well can actually look at improving their savings, because one of the things we found in the poll is that a lot of your non-discretionary expenses have gone down. And the reason they've gone down is because you can't go out to restaurants, and you can't go out to the mall, and you can't go to the movie theater. A bunch of stuff you used to be able to do have really been retracted. So that creates extra money in your budget. What you should be doing now is looking at your long-term goals and figuring out your retirement savings. Do you have that emergency fund? What is the appropriate use for that? What we've actually discovered is a lot of those people say, well, because that spending's gone down, I can afford other items. If you talk to people who are in like car dealerships, marinas, they've actually had a record year because the people have been using the money to get other things. I would take a little bit longer view and say, let's look at our budget and say, how's your retirement coming? How much money do you have in your retirement fund? And should you be using some of that money towards retirement? But again, that's setting your goals, your short-term, mid-term, and long-term goals in your budget, and then focusing on your personal finances. Because if you look at retirement savings in Canada, they're actually extremely low. And even those who do have retirement savings don't have adequate amount. So again, let's focus on the long-term goals in your budget if you're doing well and have the funds. So if you're in a difficult situation, again, look at the budget, look at what you got coming in for income, and look at what your fixed expenses are. See where you can cut back in order to make the budget work. If, unfortunately, you're just saying, look, I can't make it work, there's just not enough money coming in, that's when you reach out to someone like a BDO to sort of say, look, I got a problem, how do I get out of this situation? We'll walk you through it, we'll develop a budget with you, and we'll figure out what's the best solution for you to address your situation.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Call the Rogers TV viewer response line, email us, or connect with us on social media. This is Rogers TV. Barrie.
For 25 years, you've been helping to make our roads safer by doing the right thing. You've been the designated driver, you've stayed over, called home, you've called a cab or a friend, and planned ahead. Let's keep doing the right thing. Support sober driving by getting yourself and your friends home safely.
Do the right thing.
Visit ArriveAlive.org to find out more. Arrive Alive. Drive sober.
Through United Way, I did a self-esteem course, training for peer support, and now I volunteer. It's a lesson that comes from the nature of doing work with the United Way that gives me a new lease on my life.
This is Rogers TV.
My name is Eve Laws, and I am a registered dietitian. And I love to teach people that healthy eating doesn't have to be mission impossible. A healthy lifestyle doesn't have to be mission impossible. Here on Mission Nutrition, I teach people healthy tips, tricks, and of course recipes to get you started on a healthy journey right now. Today's mission is spicing up your life and adding more lovely spices into our food. Not only do they have nutritional benefit, but they add such good flavor. And to be honest, sometimes I get overwhelmed in the spice aisle. I'm probably not as generous enough as I need to be for spices. So who better to talk to us than Sylvia Parks?
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good, thank you.
This is Sylvia Parks. She's a chef and owner of Indian Plates. And we're my goal right now is to add more spices into my meals and add more flavor. So if I'm gonna start cooking Indian foods, what are the key ingredients that I would need or spices?
Okay, so what I totally suggest, the first spice and main spices are garam masala. This one has about 8 to 12 different spices. It's considered your allspice, and it's going to give you the flavor that you're looking for when you're making Indian cuisine. Okay?
Right, so I'm not having to buy a bunch of different spices.
Yeah, it's your main spice,
perfect.
but what to do is you want to complement it with some other spices, like a paprika. We'd be using over here, you'd use some turmeric. At times, depending on what recipe you're doing, but the recipe we're going to be making, we will use the turmeric, and if you want a little bit of heat, you're going to add some cayenne pepper as well. We always want to add a little bit of heat, but not always Indian food has to be spicy, but it's a blend of all the spices together to make it very flavorful. Okay, so we got our onions, we have some tomatoes, and now we're going to
get some okra.
Yes.
So what are we making today?
So we are making an Indian dish called bindi, and it is okra or ladyfingers, just found over here. You can get it packaged or loose. I like to prefer to, pick my own, so I like it when it's loose, but you want to just make sure that you're picking the same length and size so they cook nice and even and they're tender. And then you want to make sure you cook them right away, because if you leave them in the fridge for a day or so, they might get a little slimy because they have that texture to them. Yeah, so you want to, as soon as you get them, you want to know you're making it the same day or the very next day to keep ultimate freshness.
Get some okra.
Excellent. So I'll pick some out for us.
I'm excited to try with the spices because I think alone,
yes,
it doesn't seem very appealing, and it probably doesn't taste that good by itself, right?
And it's a different dish, right? Nobody usually uses this, so it's a nice way to show you guys how to make something really quick and easy and delicious using Indian spices.
Yeah, I never think to get the okra, but today, we're gonna do it.
Okay.
Awesome.
I'm excited.
Perfect. With seasonings and fresh spices. So when you're spicing up your food, you don't just have to think of dried herbs. There's a lot of fresh spices that will make you shake. So number one is ginger spice. Who doesn't like ginger spice, right? She was one of my favorites until she left, but I do honestly love ginger. It's so good for inflammation. It's also really good for digestion. So people with IBS, highly suggest. Then we got baby spice. But don't be fooled by their size. These things are spicy. These are green Thai chilies. And these really add a lot of heat. A little bit goes a long way, but this and coconut milk makes a lovely stir fry. So don't be scared, give it a try. Then we got posh spice with turmeric because it's very trendy and for good reason. It's really good for anti-inflammatory properties. And so it's really good if you have arthritis or you're just wanting to be healthy and be posh. And then for sporty spice is all about staying healthy and being fit. So cilantro and herbs are a great way to add flavor without adding any calories. So definitely highly recommend a good cilantro if you want to get your sport on. And then finally we got scary spice with the jalapeno. But don't be scared of spicy foods. Jalapenos, really the only spicy part is the seeds. So if you are afraid of heat, just remove the seeds. And some jalapenos aren't even that spicy. So don't be scared and spice up your life, people. So I'm super excited to get started and try this because, to be honest, sometimes I avoid these certain spices.
Yes, absolutely. You're going to enjoy the recipe, and I can't wait to see you in the kitchen.
All right, let's go cook. We are in the kitchen with the amazing Sylvia Parks. She is the owner of Indian Plates, and I had the pleasure once of doing one of her private cooking classes. And I love working with Sylvia because she teaches you how to use different spices and different ingredients in an amazing and delicious way. So tell me a little bit about what we're going to be making today.
Well, thank you. I'm so excited to be here. Thanks so much. So today we're making a side dish, and it's called bindi, and it's an Indian curry vegetarian dish, and it's using something that you might not be too used to, which is okra. Have you used this vegetable before?
I've used it once before, but it's not something I normally go for, no.
Okay, so when you use okra, it's actually very fast and easy. In Indian cooking, we're using cooking from the north of India, New Delhi area, and the okra that we're going to use today, what you want to make sure you do is when you buy it, you want to use it within 2 days, okay? Because it starts to get, it's got a more of a slimy gooiness to this, vegetable. And then what you want to do is you want to wash it thoroughly, and you want to dry it with a tea towel and make sure it's thoroughly dry. So we've already done that ahead of time. And then you can even have it dry overnight on just a tray as well, just so we don't want any moisture going into the dish, because that would create more slime and gooiness that we don't want.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do first is we're just going to cut off the heads and the tails, just like so, okay? And then about an inch thick, we're going to just slice them right through. And you can see a little bit of the gooiness there, but that'll disappear when you add an acid to this vegetable. So a tomato, vinegar, or a lemon. And that's, if you need it necessarily, you can add it at the end of your dish, the lemon. So we're just going to cut those up. And then we're going to fry this. So okra can be made, people use breadcrumbs to fry it up, just different ways. What we're doing is we're going to use our very nice different spices to make this really unique and a party in your mouth, so to speak. So I've already gone ahead and cut up our ingredients. So super easy and simple. Onions, a little bit of tomatoes, some fresh ginger. So Indian curries, there's powders and there's sauces, okay? So what we're gonna do today is actually, in my cooking, I actually don't use curry powder. I use a spice that I wanna show you called garam masala. So this is the spice tin that we're going to use today for our cooking. Are you up for the challenge to try new spices?
I am.
Yeah.
I need to learn because I have my base ones, but you know, Indian spice, I want to start using more of them. So I'm very excited to learn.
Excellent. The key to using these spices is learning how to use the right melody of spices, but using a generous amount. People get confused. There's a pinch of this, a dash of that. That's actually not the key. You want to actually be very generous with your spices, okay? So the middle spice, I actually make this myself. Actually, my mother does, thanks to Mom. It's called garam masala, and it's a full process, but you can get this at any local grocery store, the garam masala spice. And then we have our complementary spices as well. Should we start cooking?
Yes,
okay.
I'm hungry.
Okay.
This smells amazing, the spices.
So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna get our frying pan on a medium heat here, and we're gonna add some olive oil to your pan. So if you add a little extra olive oil, so 2 to 4 tablespoons is great for this recipe. The more oil you add, the more crispy your okra is gonna be, okay? Otherwise known as the lady fingers as well. All right, so I'm just gonna put that aside for a second. So I don't want to add any extra moisture, so I wouldn't put the lid back on this, the pan at all. Get that a little bit heated. So what we're gonna start off with is adding some cumin seeds. Okay, toast them up. Just generously add to the pan about a teaspoon or so.
Now this toasting, it brings out the flavor more?
So they're gonna, when you start to smell the fragrance of it, it's gonna bring out the flavor of the cumin seeds for sure. And we're gonna toast that up, like so. We're gonna add some fresh ginger. So curries are like, basically, they are, the base of curries is onion, garlic, and ginger. All right, not every single recipe was gonna pop because of the water, so we gotta watch out, watch out. I was afraid of that, but that's okay.
It's an explosion of flavor, that's what it is.
That's okay.
Right, so today's avocado do's and don'ts, since we're talking about spice, don't be afraid to add spice. I think that is something people get scared of. They think it's gonna be too spicy, it's gonna overpower the dish, but really it adds flavor and there's so many nutritional benefits. So avocado, try different spices and different recipes. My #1 favorite, and we're gonna be using it in the dish today, the bindi, is ginger. So ginger is really good for digestion. If you feel like you have a bit of indigestion, ginger is an amazing thing you could add. And why I also like ginger is it's also good for people with IBS. So sometimes if you have IBS, garlic is a little hard on your stomach and your intestines, but ginger doesn't bother people as much with IBS. So I'm so excited to try that today in our lovely Indian dish. Another very, very popular spice is the turmeric. So this has a beautiful bright color, and that's actually from the active compound curcumin. It's anti-inflammatory, and it's really good also for gut health. So I usually recommend adding it to, I've put it in my smoothies sometimes, and it's really found a lot in Indian cooking. That's why we're gonna be adding it today. Cinnamon. So cinnamon is a great thing because it's been known to actually slightly reduce your blood sugar. So, you know, you do need quite a bit, but it's something great to add to your lattes instead of sugar. So you add flavor, but you're also adding nutrition. Oh, cayenne pepper, that's gonna give a little heat to our dish today. But it also actually helps a little bit boost your metabolism, not too much, right? But there is some research to show it slightly boosts our metabolism, and it also helps suppress our appetite a little bit, maybe because it's so spicy, right? So avocado, try this. You won't be disappointed.
So we're gonna add the okra to kind of cut back on the popping of the ginger. That's just the water retention in the ginger that's causing that to pop. So maybe after you grate it, just squeeze out that excess water. That might be an easier way. So we're gonna add the okra. So you're just gonna toast this, brown this for a couple of minutes. Okay.
And like I always mention, it's good to try different fruits and vegetables. So if you've never had okra before, it seems relatively simple. So yeah, I'm excited to try.
Yeah, this is a very simple dish, and it's a nice side dish to any of your curries that you're cooking for the evening.
Right.
And it's, like I said, a couple ingredients, but then having the right spices will make it a pop in your mouth.
Right.
Okay. So we toast that away. So okra is great. It has potassium in it. It's got vitamin B, vitamin C in it. It's actually a low-calorie vegetable as well. So
right, and I find pretty well any vegetable such good because you're gonna get the fiber, the nutrients, and it's usually low in calories too,
we want to add the rest of our okra. That was just our little sample. Yeah, might as well get all the suckers in there.
It's got some good vitamin K in it too, which is good for your blood.
Yeah. Whoops. Perfect. Another way. So I use a spice called garam masala, and it has 12 different spices in it. Main base is coriander, cumin, and then it has cloves in it. It has bay leaves, red chilies, black pepper, black cardamom. It's got quite a few different ones. It's got mace, which is nutmeg of a skin, in there as well. Cinnamon's in here too, in the garam masala.
So basically everything you need.
Yeah, and everything you guys would do in your normal cooking, right? The daily cooking. Bay leaf you've used, peppers, that kind of thing. Yeah. But then it's roasted, and then it's ground, and then it's turned into this wonderful spice in the middle here. This is what we call, every Indian household has a thali, or what we call a dabba. So that means a box or a tin. And then it's contained in a nice stainless steel container like that, so all the spices are not smelling up the whole kitchen when you walk in, so it's nice and confined that way. And so now we're going to add our onions. So this is one chopped onion. It's going to go in there. And as I mentioned before, the tomato adds as a barrier to kind of get that little bit of that gooiness out of okra. Okra is usually used in some kind of gumbo soups, right? And I was actually away in Jamaica, and they were making a steamed fish, and they were using it at the very end, okra, which I thought was a really good idea to add it to some fish too. Add some tomato.
And I guess that's the acidity of our dish, right?
Yeah. And if you feel like it still has a little bit too much stickiness, you want to add, you'll just cut it with a little bit of lemon at the end. Okay? So.
And tomatoes are one of those vegetables that are actually a little bit healthier cooked, right?
Right.
And I find a lot of people prefer cooked vegetables, so this is a great way to get it in.
Yeah, yep, excellent. Yeah, some people don't like raw tomatoes, so.
Yeah.
So this is like a masala. So this is basically, it's a blend of spices and your ingredients to put together here. So now we're gonna add the fun stuff. So we're gonna add our turmeric. Turmeric can be used in all kinds of different dishes. It's one of the healthiest spices in the world, right?
Yeah. And in terms of like gut health, inflammation, it probably has the most research in terms of a spice.
Yeah.
And so you'll see it popping up in a lot of places like turmeric tea, and you know, you can add to rice, that kind of stuff, or in your smoothie as well.
Yeah.
It's a good option.
Yeah, I actually add it in my smoothies. We're gonna add that famous special secret ingredient, the garam masala. Okay, I added a little kick of cayenne pepper to add the heat. You can add fresh chilies to this as well. Depends what you like, what your palate can handle.
Right.
You can add fresh chilies to this, or you can add a little bit of cayenne to get that kick.
Nice.
Okay.
I like a little spice.
Some salt and pepper there.
Yes.
Yeah, spicier. I grew up in a household where my mom ate chilies raw, fresh green chilies. So I'm used to
not
hot,
that intense, but I like a little. Probably everyone's level of heat's a little different though.
A little bit of salt.
Yummy. It
Okay.
smells so good in
Helps
here.
to balance all the different spices we just used. And you know, even though we have some pepper in the garam masala, we'll use a little bit more just to give it a kick. Okay. So this would cook for another 5 to 7 minutes until it's tender. And voila, you've got a great different side dish to your dinner. Okay, so now we're going to make a rice pilau, and we're going to start that off with the secret to making amazing rice is the pot.
Okay, yeah, because I never, my rice doesn't turn out. That's one thing I can't make, is rice.
Yeah, so when you were at my class, remember we were talking about this pot? So you want a 10-inch or a 12-inch skillet. So we've got about 1.5 cups of basmati rice that we're going to add to 3 cups of water. It's the same portions to any rice that you would be making. And then we're going to just get this on a little bit, and we're going to add the flavor to this rice. So you're having company, you want to make something a little bit nicer than just boiling plain rice.
Right.
So we're going to add a little bit of oil to our pan so that the skillet helps keep the rice separated from each other. Of course, it's still going to pile on top of each other, but it's not as starchy as well. And you're going to flavor it up with some cumin seeds again. Get those toasting. Okay. Just grab my little thali here.
I need to get some cumin seeds.
Yeah, so these nice whole cumin seeds really add the flavors into your dishes. Then we're going to add some cinnamon, okay? Whole cinnamon sticks and some bay leaves. And we're going to add some whole cloves. We're going to add, before I add the rice, so we're going to add the onions. My mistake there. And we sliver those onions up. So you want to toast this up till the onions get a little bit of brown. And you'll get the fragrance of the cinnamon in there. Okay. But yeah, did you ever think the pot was the secret? That's the secret. Nobody realizes. Yeah, when I watched my mom
overcooking it. Or...
Yeah, and my mom and my aunt, they would always use this wide skillet, and I'd be like, what is that about? So I learned the traditional, authentic ways of making the Indian food.
I've never added spices and onion to my rice.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see the difference.
And the only other ingredient as far as spices go is a little bit of salt. Okay, but the actual dry ingredients here, the cinnamon and the fresh ones, are going to really bring in lots of flavor into your basmati rice. We add some peas as well at the end too, once it's all toasted with our rice, just to give it a little bit of color. You add a little bit more nutrients to your dish. So,
and so we just cook this for about
3 minutes or so, just until it gets brown.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so those are nicely toasted for us and it's nicely browned. We're gonna add our basmati rice. Another little tip is also to wash your rice, to rinse it out, okay? So we've already rinsed out the rice.
Usually you rinse it out a few times.
Yeah, rinse it out nice and thoroughly, and it just gives it, gets a little bit rid of the starch, any of the particles.
Right.
This is basmati rice, so you want to make sure it's nice and clean. You don't have to necessarily toast that, you can just add that right in. Add about half a cup of peas.
Get more vegetables in.
Yeah, you can even add a mix of frozen vegetables if you'd like, with the small carrots and peas and green beans. Wow, there you go.
And how much water?
So it's 1.5 cups of rice to 3 cups of water, okay? And a little bit of salt. If you want to pinch and throw in some salt there for me, I'll leave that up to you.
Good enough?
A little bit more. I love my salt. Excellent, excellent. And then you turn that to a medium heat, because we're using and then the lid goes on. You don't want to disturb the rice too much while it's cooking so that it will prevent it from sticking. And then afterwards, when all the water's evaporated, you basically give it a nice stir very gently, and then your rice is done. What do you think?
Yeah, it smells so good. You can
Right?
smell the cinnamon, definitely.
Yeah,
I'm so excited to try.
Okay, so we're going to plate that now with our bindi. So another little tip with rice is you want to use it from the outer edges to the pot. So you don't want to upset the rest of the rice. And the reason is you don't want to get it cold and sticky. Okay, so that's another little trick or tip. There you go. And if you get any of the cloves or the cinnamon, you want to just put that right in the bowl. That is totally fine. And the, the person eating it will just move it aside. It gives it a little bit of drama, right?
And you just put it on the side or on top?
On top is fine, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And like I said, you can eat this over rice, so you can have it with the roti or the naan bread. Excellent. And I'll pass that over to me.
Perfect.
And I will throw some fresh cilantro on that. You love cilantro, right?
Yes, I love it.
Yeah, people love it or hate it, right? Depends on that gene that they're born with.
Yeah.
So I always have to ask at my cooking classes, do you guys love cilantro? Because if they don't, I have to kind of be a little bit more careful with using the spice. But it is used in a lot of Indian dishes, the cilantro.
Smells so good.
Okay.
All right, bon appetit.
Bon appetit, I was about to say. Tell me what you think.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to try the different flavors. It's really good. Definitely has a bit of spice, a little kick, and the okra is not too gummy, but it still has a nice, interesting texture, and then the tomato gives a nice citrus flavor to it too, really good.
It turned out really well.
Yeah, I could definitely eat this every day.
Yeah, some people eat it as a whole meal. Like if they want to just go for a nice low-calorie dish, absolutely, for sure, for sure. And I had a class at my house. I teach them there as well. And I had a vegan class. This is a vegan gluten-free dish, right? And all of the guests at my house were not vegans. But one thing I wanted to share with you is that people are trying to eat more plant-based food.
Yeah.
And I was so shocked they came to a vegan class because I offer butter chicken, all these meat dishes, but they thought that Indian food is the most flavorful vegetarian because of the spices. So I thought that was really cool.
And it really highlights the vegetables because it brings out the flavor of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So thank you so much, Sylvia.
Oh my God, thanks for having me. Love to be here. And let's have a little cheers of our iced tea in our beautiful wine glasses, but of course
with
we're having
iced tea.
Iced tea.
to bring down the heat too. It's delicious though.
Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. And I'm definitely going to, for my mission, try some of these other amazing spices and check back with you later. Eve, and I'm checking in on my mission. So my mission this week was to add more spices to my diet. So the first thing I actually did was I went through my cupboard and checked what I had, and I had a whole lot of spices I don't use and that were expired. So kind of went threw out a lot, and then I kind of put my spices that I like together, and I found I really liked the the spice blends because it makes it so much easier when I'm cooking just to grab, you know, a blend of spice like a za'atar or a garam masala and put it on my veggies as opposed to getting a little parsley, a little this and a little that. And I also started to add a lot more ginger. So my go-to is garlic, love my garlic, but I tried to add a little more ginger and I found it really added flavor and also helped with my digestion, which I really liked. And then turmeric, I added it to my smoothies. Something I like to do, and it helps me get it in every day if I add it to my smoothies, and I can't really taste it that much. It gives it a little bit of a spiciness, but it's a good way to get it in every day. And fun fact, you can add turmeric to your pasta water and it makes your pasta turn a bright color, but you're also going to get some of the health benefits from that. So it was kind of cool, it was fun, it helped me kind of revamp my dishes. It also added great flavor, so it was lots of fun. And I'm definitely going to try to incorporate more spices coming up. So if you know any challenge that you want to do or me, let me know. Let's do this challenge together. Definitely try to add some more spices into your own diet. And we'll see you next time on Mission Nutrition.
Call the Rogers TV viewer response line, email us, or connect with us on social media.
You don't have time to talk to your dad?
He's a drunk.
Luis is still a dying man. You need to wrap your head around that.
But that doesn't mean he can't live now.
You and me will teach us. We teach people how to love.
I don't care what he is. We need to get him under control.
Eric, stop this.
I can't.
Sometimes bad things happen to good people.
After a night out with your friends, not having a plan for a safe ride home can leave you in a bad spot. You could end up riding in a police car, an ambulance, or a hearse. These unplanned modes of transportation can be a costly choice and do not take you home. Your plan could include a designated driver, a taxi, or public transit. Drink responsibly, choose your ride, and have a plan for a safe ride home.
Visit arrivealive.org to find out more.
This is Rogers TV. Barry.
I went to school in the country, to a country school, and we were bused in every morning and every night. So, and it was at that time the only high school around, unless you were sent away to boarding school or something. There was an epidemic of polio had been going around, and a new vaccine had been discovered by Dr. Salk. And all the students in the school were to line up in the gym, and we were all supposed to get these polio shots. And dutifully, away we went, all of us. And when it came my turn, there I was. Nurse shoved the needle in my arm, and the needle broke. And there was vaccine all over the place. She was covered with it. It was all over her lovely white coat, and it was running down her glasses, and I'm still standing there. But I looked back, the football team was behind me, and about 3/4 of them were on their face on the floor. A trip that we made to the World Music Festival in Chicago, and we were invited to play there as this renowned Canadian band, and they thought we were quite unique because all the American bands, if there were girls in it, they all wore pants and slacks, and they thought we were beautiful in our red jackets, and the men in their white pants and the ladies in white pleated skirts. So they thought that was quite unique.